Before we start today's video, I want to share with you my latest mail call from Clocks and Colors. This is a brand that you guys know I've talked about a lot in the past. I've been a big fan of them for a very long time, and they recently dropped their second collection of goods in collaboration with Peter McKinnon. And I gotta tell you, I was super excited. I got almost all the pieces from the last release that they did with him, so I had to get a few this time for sure. And once again, they didn't disappoint. We got 2 rings and a new necklace here. And one of the rings and the necklace actually match with that blue Petersite sewn. I absolutely love them both. And then the other ring here was so awesome, I had to get it. I love the scene there. It really reminds me of my home state of Washington, so that's kind of why I chose it. I love the trees and the imagery, things like that. It's just a really cool ring. All 3 are sterling silver too. I highly recommend you check them out. It's great quality. Again, I've been a big fan of them for long before they decided to work with me here on the channel. And if you're in the market for some new jewelry or even some gifts for this holiday season, these make awesome gifts. And if you're looking for something for yourself, Clocks and Colors is giving away a custom Harley-Davidson motorcycle and $5,000 worth of gear from their shop. This is a huge giveaway. I'm actually entering it myself. It's a huge giveaway. And all you have to do to enter is follow the link in the description and fill in your name and email, and that's it. Super easy. It's all you got to do. The giveaway goes until November 17th, so you don't have much more time to jump on it. I would do it right now if you're interested. I mean, I know I jumped on it right away, so let's see if one of us can snag this killer bike. Once again, too, check out Clocks and Colors, link in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed these picks, and I can't wait to show you guys what I pick up from them next. Now, though, on to today's episode. What is happening, guys? Mike here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the final product from the Don Juan Sea Salt lineup, the aptly named Sea Salt Pomade. Alright, jumping straight into it now. According to the brand, the Don Juan Sea Salt Pomade was designed to add thickness to the hair with volume and that fresh, out-of-the-ocean textured look. It is a water-based formula, so it is made to be super water-soluble, and like the others in this line, it uses a surf wax scent and comes in a 4-ounce jar for $13.99 US. Looking inside the jar here, we have a very different looking product than really I was expecting, especially compared to the other ones in the sea salt line. I was thinking this would be either a gel or a cream, you know, unorthodox water-based type situation. It's kind of peculiar, really. It's thick, but it's not super slick. It doesn't have that, you know, cream unorthodox look to it. It almost has this feeling of a lighter holding Petro pomade, but it does not contain Petro, which is why this kind of threw me off at first. It kind of has that same feeling, but it's not quite it. So it made me wonder what really this is. But as usual, the only way to figure that out is to use it. And as usual with pomades of this type, or, you know, pretty much any type, I like to use it on dry hair. So I am going to do that here. I'm going to add it into clean dry hair, no extras, no pre-style or anything like that. And as I add in the product here, it's extremely slick. It's everything we found in when I scooped it out and just showed it to you up close. It's slick. It's not very sticky, so it can kind of throw you off when you're first adding it to your hair, maybe making you think that you need more than you do. So be aware of that if you do try this, because that hold will present itself later. But for now, it's mostly just nice and slick with some of that density of the product transferring nicely over to the hair, so you can really get some control out of it in place of that stickiness and tack. It's nice that you can use a pomade like this really to get the style you want without it just firming up instantly. It gives you a lot of time to kind of mess with it and get things in line. This now is the final style 4 hours into the day, and we can see that it does in fact harden up a little bit. This was kind of the big revelation to me. This is kind of what I was wondering. It allowed me to really pinpoint what type of product this is. You know, it did turn out to behave more like a gel, but most importantly, you can see that even though it does behave like a gel, it's not hardening up a ton. It's not becoming a helmet. It's actually holding the style very well without doing that and performing quite nicely. At 8 hours in, I don't really see much change there, honestly. It doesn't really look like anything's moved. I mean, it hasn't hardened up more or really anything, which is kind of odd for a product like this, you know, it's not a super hard holding gel. So I definitely expected some movement throughout the day, but really everything just kind of stayed the same, which is really good. It's nice to see that a product like this can keep things in check without going overboard and becoming a helmet or a force field or something like that. Moving over to the washout now, this is super easy, very easy to explain. It's just completely water rinse. It comes out very easy, just water, no issues in that department, really not much else to say. The scent though, I have stayed pretty consistent on this for the entire sea salt line actually from the Don Juan brand. I've been saying the entire time I'm just not a huge fan of the surf wax scent. It's got a bit more coconut, kind of a floral thing going on there than really what I would prefer and my allergies really would prefer, I should say. And this one's no different. It's the same. It's got that same coconut thing there. And also I thought this one was especially strong too compared to the other ones, but overall it's not a bad scent. It's just kind of, it's just one that aggravates my allergies. So that's kind of how it was for me, but I do think it definitely fits the line and it fits the theme. Bringing it all together here, this one, I have to admit, gave me kind of a toss-up at first, which was actually kind of nice as a reviewer. It's always good to get these curveballs and break up what sometimes can feel a bit routine. And initially I was thinking this one would be like a real version of an easy wash oil base. It has that specific petro feel to it. And in some ways, I do think it was that. It certainly looks the part. I mean, it looks and feels like what you would probably picture an easy wash oil base to be. I can't, though, fully call it that because it does, in fact, harden up a bit. And as we know, petro or oil-based pomades do not harden up at all. So we do have to technically call this a gel type or an orthodox pomade. However, I do think that it's a very well-made gel pomade because instead of relying only on that hardening, it does use some of the density of the product to keep things controlled. And then it works hand in hand with some slight hardening to keep things in check. And that's evident by the fact that we saw the pomade didn't need to really harden up all that much, yet I still got more than 8 hours of performance out of it. I mean, it just worked so well in my long and heavy hair. So that can tell you guys, if it works great for me, it's going to work even better for you, at least in theory. That's how I have seen it work in the past. The only thing I will say here as far as criticism goes, there was one thing that was missing from the party, and of course that was the sea salt texture. I just didn't see it there. This is something that we've talked about a lot in the past. Sea salt texture for me is it's just tough. I don't know really what it is about it. I just don't often see results from sea salt. But I do think, though, that you guys, especially in the wintertime, you guys like to use those light holding oil-based pomades. You might actually consider using something like this because I do think it performs similarly. I wouldn't call it a light for sure. I think it's actually more of a medium, even on the far end of medium. But I do think it has some similarities there to the oil-based pomade realm. I think it's kind of like bridging up against that line there, and it washes out a hell of a lot easier. So you might give it some thought. If you would like to check out this or anything else from the Don Juan sea salt line, I will leave a link in the description below, and I highly recommend you check them out. They have a lot of awesome stuff inside this line, so there's something really for everyone, in my opinion, there. If you are looking for a gift this year too, you can find a lot there to put under the tree. Thanks though so much for checking this out with me. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. That's a huge help to me. Thank you so much in advance for doing that, and take it easy. I'll see you next time.